Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Look Back. This is a series where I take a look at games that I reviewed 1, 5, 10, and 20 years ago and tell you what I think about them now, if I think about them at all. So let's jump back here to 20 years ago. A few games. Camp Wanagi, We Hold You in Our Heart. No, this is a horror game, and it's terrible. Yeah, bad, moving around a board, 3 out of 10. Odds Are, I forgot about this game. It's like a gambling-esque game. You move around and you do different, like, can I do this? Odds, trivia type thing. It's okay. I wish it was better. I like the concept of it. From Eagle Griffin, 6 out of 10. And then Magic Hill. Magic Hill, a kid's game from Rudiger Dorn. This was a big deal back in the day to kind of move around and up a board in the middle. They make really great kids games these days, but this one was pretty decent. 6.5. Alrighty, 10 years ago, 10 years, I reviewed Avengers vs. X-Men Marvel Dice Masters, where they mixed Quarriors, a game I liked a lot, with Magic the Gathering and Marvel. Now, at the time, this is like, yeah, who cares? Marvel everywhere. Marvel was not everywhere 10 years ago. And I really like this comic series, too, the Avengers vs. X-Men. I love this game. I gave it a 9.5. I dropped it to a 9. Still a really great game. I don't play it nearly as much these days. And the collectability, and it's also died out, but there's still so much content for it. So much Dice Masters. I really like it. Then there's Warlock. Warlock from Quinted Games. This game is hideously ugly. I mean, terrifyingly ugly. But I still really like this game. It's kind of a take-that, Euro-style game, playing cards. I considered trying to get it reprinted, but it was just shy of being great. Still an 8 out of 10. Bugs in the Kitchen. Bugs in the Kitchen is the game that introduced me to those little bugs, those nano bugs that go all over the place. It's a silly, crazy game where you're rolling a die and rotating utensils to get the bug to go into your neighbor's bin. 8 out of 10. What the Food? A silly game about collecting food and things like that. 7 out of 10. Shadows over the Empire. An Artipia game, and I was really kind of all over the place with Artipia games. This one wasn't great. This maneuvering the cards, it looked really cool, but it wasn't that fun. 5 out of 10. The Doom That Came to Atlantic City, this rescued Kickstarter. Cthulhu Monopoly. It's a funny idea, but it's Cthulhu Monopoly, so 5 out of 10. And Countdown Special Ops, I was really kind of excited about this one, but it's not a very good game at all. 4 out of 10. 5 years ago, I took a look at Sonic the Hedgehog Crash Course. And this began my trend, I think, of finding Sonic games that are just bad. Sonic games don't seem to be very good, because Sonic is a game about speed. And if your board game is not speedy, and this one is not, come on now. 4 out of 10. Scuttle, a little pirate game where you're trying to collect 21 doubloons by playing cards. 6.5. Showtime. I like this one from Pegasus about putting people in the theater trying to sit in the right spots. 7 out of 10. Victorian Masterminds. Simon kind of made a game here that's a little overproduced, probably. All these really cool buildings. You're a mastermind. And trying to do different things in areas. It's a good game, though. 7 out of 10. Venture Angels. This collaboration between Bruno Fedduti, Mondu Games from Korea, and Ian O'Toole. But a nice little card game and chip game trying to outguess other people. 7 out of 10. Kapow. A superhero game that's not based on any property. And it's basically a 1 versus 1 game where it's a dice building game and has some really neat ideas in it. It was reprinted later on, 7.5. Madara, Unintentional Malum. This is a very good, well-designed, big, giant dungeon crawl. To me, it's hampered by its over-the-top, redonkulous anime theme. And I mean that in like the negative way anime is portrayed and stuff, especially how the females are drawn. I find that to take away from this. I think it would get a 9 otherwise, but I give it an 8. Wander the Cult of Barnacle Bay. This looks like a Simon game, but with the monsters, they got the shark bears and all kinds of things like that. Some cool concepts, an 8 out of 10. Last year, I took a look at Risk Shadow Forces, another kind of campaign-style game, like Risk Legacy. This one's really bad, 5 out of 10. It has some combat in it that's just terrible. Orconomics. This is a, economics game with orcs. And moving stuff around, and it's okay, but it never feels like it gets that exciting. 6 out of 10. Northgard Uncharted Lands. This one looked fantastic. A hand-building game. You're playing cards. The last person to draft the card is but basically the first person to pass gets to pick from some cards, area control, resource production, great components, and yet it came together to make an okay game for me. Best at 2, 6 out of 10. Autobahn. This one was almost there. A heavy game from Alley Cat Games as you're building the Autobahn. I just felt like there's not a lot of divergence from the main strategy. A little bit more work in many regards, but there's some stuff I do like about it, but it's still a 6 out of 10. And then Seize the Bean. Seize the Bean, a coffee making game. Kind of your own deck building game as customers come out. You have to try to control these customers and get coffee and make the baked goods. Great components. Really cool game. But wow, this one definitely has disappeared off the face of the earth in the last year. A 7 out of 10 for me. So those are the games I reviewed 1, 5, 10, and 20 years ago. Thanks for watching Look Back. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time.